Hi, Stephen. Hi, Donnie. Hi, Paul. So welcome to the Sunday night non-duality talk. Hi, lovely. Before I start, I do normally do these every Sunday night at 8:30, but next week is going to be my last one for a whole month. I'm not going to do any talks at all in March, and it will actually be the first time I'm taking a break for 2 years. Yeah, so I'm going to be out of touch for a whole month. I'm not going to be taking any messages, any emails, nothing. I'm going to have a complete break from everything. In the description below the video, there are links to my website, and there you can find, what can you find there? My book. If you want a private session with me, you can find that there. My events, and next Saturday, I'm doing a webinar, a private webinar with about 8 people, and I think there's 3 places left. So if you want to do that, you can just look on there and it tells you how to do that. And I'm going to be in London on the 14th and 15th of April, and I'm giving a whole weekend talk there as well. And you can find the tickets for that on the website. I'm not organizing that, but there's a link to the people who are organizing it on there. And I'll give an intro, and if you want to ask questions, you can ask questions in the chat panel here. Hi, Ona. Hi, Joe. Let's see, is there anything else? Oh, thank you for those who give me donations. I'm very grateful for that. And if you'd like to make a donation for this talk, you can, there's a link below the video for that as well. I see. The reason, oh, you got your tickets for London. Oh, cool. Oh, great. That'd be great. So you can't find, the reason you can't find this freedom, this amazing aliveness, is because you can't find it. It's because it's unfindable. What appears is the dream, concept, construct of an apparent person that is looking for the freedom. And that's the way it operates. It operates to find because it feels incomplete. That's its appearance. It's an appearance of separation. And within that appearance of separation, there's the sense of incompletion, as if something is lost, something's been lost. That's how it feels. That's the story it has. So it can never be found because it's unfindable. What this is beyond the idea of finding or getting or knowing. This is like a field of aliveness, and it doesn't move. It just changes appearance. It's like it's a field of aliveness. I don't know what else to call it. And it just, when you go out the door and you walk down the road, it feels like you're moving. It feels like you're moving down the road to the next thing you're getting to. But what is actually happening is that this is just moving and changing constantly. It moves and changes. It gives the appearance of movement. But it's more like it just remolds all the time. It's so amazing. It's just, you can't get hold of it. It's just beyond beautiful. It's beyond beautiful that it's here at all. It's a complete head fuck, really, because you just can't get hold of this appearance, this life. There's no rules to this life. No one's doing any of it. No one's in charge of it. No one's in charge of the appearance of me. It feels like I'm in charge of that. It's me and I'm in charge of me. But that's just this aliveness changing and moving as an appearance called me. There's the things, the objects, the space, the light, the heat, and there's this appearance of me. They're all the same aliveness, always changing and moving, but not moving in time, just spontaneously being. It's beyond beautiful. You can't understand what that beauty is. There's nothing here that understands that beauty. It's just so beautiful. There's no other way to put it. It's what we're looking for. We can't find it because it already is. It's already here as everything, as this life. Hi, SS. Hi, Claudia. Anyway, okay. So, SS, can you talk about religion and how that affects family beliefs, as I stopped following all religious beliefs after realization? I have a lot of thoughts about caring about people's opinions, but that should be just seen as it is, right? Hi, Anne. Religion and how that affects family beliefs. Well, I guess that's just a family situation, isn't it? If you have family that believe in something and you don't, but that should be just seen as it is, right? I don't really know. That just should be seen as it is. Well, it just is what it is, really. If there's a caring about other people's opinions, that's what's happening. But when there's a sense of I'm caring about other people's opinions, then they become sticky. The character of SS might just be, if it's a me story, there's nothing that can be actually done about that. It just runs on its own. Everything runs on its own. That's what's being pointed to here. Not that there's anything actually being pointed to, because there's nothing to actually point to. But it is running on its own. And right now, what's happening is that there's a thought going on about What should I do about my opinions, about my caring about other people's opinions? That's it. That's it happening. That's what aliveness is appearing as. It's appearing as that. And if there's then that thought, well, what should I do? Then it's appearing as that. See, I don't tell people what they should do. I don't give advice, as you probably know. I just point to what I see as obvious. What is obvious? What is here? Whatever's appearing here is it. Whatever's appearing here is it. It's always moving and changing, but it's made of the same stuff. It's made of the one field of energy, moving and changing into what should I do? What do I think? What da-da-da-da? All these things is it. They don't belong to anybody. All those things that appear don't belong to anybody. Hey, Will. None of that belongs to anybody. And I know there's this kind of feeling, what should I do? Well, what should I do about it? Well, what's being pointed to here is that feeling, that sense, that thought of what should I do about it is it. Stephen, what is and what is not? Yeah. There's nothing that can really be said. You can't, I mean, you know, we can only talk in words, so words get used, but all of them are totally useless, really. They can never describe. Or even the so-called bad stuff. Yes, even the so-called bad stuff is made of the same aliveness as the plant and the space and the hand and the words, all of it. And within that as well, there's also the appearance of the human, because we don't want to get into non-dual concepts of the human being appalled by the bad stuff, like war and murder, all those really horrendous things that appear. But in reality, the whole thing, the feeling from the human about the bad stuff, the water, it's all the one field of aliveness. It's edgeless, boundless, timeless. It doesn't have morality in the same way as the human has morality. It is the human morality. It says, so thoughts just appear, there is no control. No, because I've never met anybody who has actually controlled their thoughts. And even the controlling of the thoughts is what is happening. It can't be, it's just what's happening. There's no separation and something. There's no separation and something. There is only no separation. There is only the one appearance. So even the appearance of controlling thoughts is the appearance of controlling thoughts. And then, you know, all of it, the whole life. There's no right or wrong in it. Because everything can only be what it is appearing at. It can't be anything else. Hola, Raphael. And I've realized what you mean when you say this is what you're looking for. Whenever it is even the horrific suffering of the self, whatever it is, even the horrific suffering of the self. Yes, it cannot be any other way. We always look in things. We always look in nice things. We want it to be nice. We only think the nice things are it, and the horrid things are not it. But everything is it. Joe, what is and what should never be? Can't really say that, though, can you? Stephen, I've never had any thoughts of my own. No, no one owns the thoughts. No one owns the thoughts, and no one even owns I. Excuse me, I'll be right back. Lovely. Lately, I am practicing giving. I know. Giving, I know it sounds like a me doing, but still, it feels right, like it makes my conditioning more light and shaky. And you say something about it. Lately, I'm practicing giving. I know it sounds like me. Sorry, I don't really understand the first part. I'm practicing giving. I know it sounds like a me doing, but still it feels right, like it makes my conditioning. Can you just put that in another way, please? Like it seems that there's somebody sitting here speaking. There's a body here making sound. There's nobody saying it. There's nobody sitting in that room. There's nobody sitting in these rooms. There's no one sitting there. There's no one there. There's just sitting. It's just listening. Not even listening. Not even listening. The listening's not happening. Just sound is appearing out of nothing. Every molecule, every atom, every sound vibration, every light particle is just popping out of nothing. Lovely. Practicing giving without return. Yeah, well, yeah, if that's what you enjoy doing, yeah, that's just something that's happening. Yeah. Yeah, if you like doing that, then cool. Yeah. If it helps sort of if it helps the human feel better, then sure, why not? I drink water instead of whiskey because whiskey would make my body feel horrific. Hi, rapscallion. And it challenges fears I have around it. Is it the me? Anything that is coming from a personal sense of separation, the feeling of a personal separation is the feeling or the sense or whatever you want to call it of personal separation. The actions that are being taken, they're either dominated by that personal sense of me, or they're just happening. But at the same time, it is just what's happening. There is no me, lovely. There is no me. There's a story of me happening about challenging fears and reducing conditioning. All those stories are the appearance of a me, but there is no me. Where is it? It's just an appearance. It's part of the field of aliveness. It's just part of it. There are no me's. There are no people here. There's just life happening. Rapscallion. Depression is often treated with medicine, but I think that the chemical imbalance is a symptom of separation. Yeah, it could be. The condition of separation, because it really is like a condition, isn't it? Because it's not really a person. It's not a person. It's a kind of a condition that can create a lot of stress. It can cause depression. It can cause stress in the body. It can cause illness, tiredness, neurosis. Yeah. Yeah, it could be a symptom of separation. Well, the separation does create a lot of stress, because when that sense of separation is gone, the body feels completely different. Feels a lot more. Well, it's actually just completely empty. It's no longer hasn't got that tiredness, or just it just lives more naturally. Obviously, it's going to get ill at some point, because bodies get ill and they die. You know, that's what happens to bodies. They have health, they have ill health, and they have death. But a lot of stressful symptoms can be caused by the neurosis of the sense of separation. Yeah, lovely, mind blowing. Yeah, totally. It is. This is completely mind blowing. I spoke to a friend the other night. She said, "I'm totally fucked." She said, because there was just nothing left. There's nothing left. And she said, "I'm fucked." Yeah. Yeah, the whole life that you thought you were living, when that disappears, that totally is eradicated. CD, amazing how deeply ingrained it is into the brain, the idea of I am somebody. Really, though, it is a thoroughly concocted somebody. Yes, it's thoroughly concocted. Yeah, thoroughly. It's thoroughly created. It's thoroughly created in the brain. It becomes the symptom of that becomes a contraction. The contraction, then there's within that as well. There's the belief and the absolute apparent reality that I am somebody. It's like a condition. Literally, I am somebody, and it's true because I really feel it. Yeah. Oh, no, literally mind blowing. It is. Yeah. Yeah, the human is just blown to smithereens. Your friend should write a book and call it that. Yeah. What? I'm fucked. Yeah. Stephen, when I look back over this body and brain's apparent life, there was never really an autonomous me here. Me started as an idea. Its whole nature was always barely there. Yeah, because you can't find it. You can't find it. You can rummage in there and have a rummage about to try and look for it, but you can't find it because it's a dream. It's dreaming its own reality. It's just that's all that it's doing. It's dreaming its own reality, but it's not actually there. I love Rumi. Hey, I love Rumi. What is being experienced as it's just life happening? What is meant exactly by that? Thanks. Okay, well, I'll answer that with a question. What else is happening except for what is happening? This, I call it life. People call it, I don't know, some people call it God. Kind of avoid that word. It could be called love, life, aliveness, energy. What is being experienced as? It just is. It's not even being experienced. It just is. It's table. It's sitting on a chair. It's space. It's sound. It's computer. It's what's happening. That's it. It's too simple. It's like the sense of self thinks that there's something else that's not happening, which is it. Like something within what's happening, which is that's something it's not getting. It really believes there's something it's not getting, but that's part of its concocted dream, that there is something else that I'm not getting. What it's not getting is that it's not real. That's what it's not getting. CDD. It's great that humans have these big brains, but sorry to say, mine has fucked me over good. Yeah, well, yeah, that's what happens. Yeah, it just, when the sense of self, you know, apparently happens, it can, the life is just not in free flow. It becomes contracted and becomes a story and becomes a dream of my life. And then there's this dream of looking for what I'm missing. Well, it's not missing anything. There's nothing actually being missed at all. Stephen, it's everything happening right now. Totally. Totally. That's beyond now, isn't it? It's just so totally beyond it's totally timeless. It's absolutely nothing and absolutely everything. You just can't touch it. And it's astonishing. It's astonishing. Hey, Donnie. I have trouble really grasping the sense that there is no self. Do you live in a state that everything is one, energy, aliveness? Okay, let's do the first part. I have trouble grasping there is no sense of self. No, you won't grasp it because it's the dream of me trying to grasp that it doesn't exist. It's another story. It's telling itself. It's a dream of I am trying to grasp that I don't exist. And it can't do that. It's only obvious when it's no longer there. You can intellectually understand it, or there's a kind of ring of like, there's something I recognize in what's being said, but it can't be grasped. There's just a ring of a yes happening. Do you live in a state that everything is one, energy, aliveness? No, I don't live, period. No, there's no state here. The state is whatever is happening. And that's not a state for anyone. There could be tiredness or hunger or laughter or being upset my very dear friend's dog died last week, and I was quite upset about that because, you know, I spent a lot of years looking after that dog. But it's just whatever is. There's no one who lives in a state because there's no one. The idea of living in a state is a belief, is an idea. The idea that I am at all is an idea. And the idea that I am living in a state is just part of its dream. All of that is just, it's the end of all of that. The whole lot. No states, no sense of separation, no grasping, no needing to grasp because there is actually nothing to grasp. It's trying to grasp, you're trying to grasp at an idea of being somebody. It's the idea of me trying to grasp at me not being there. It's impossible. Stephen, like a dog chasing its tail. Yeah, it is. It's me chasing me's tail. And none of it's real. It's all just a story. You can't find any of it. None of it's actually there as a reality. It's moving, it's changing so quickly, you just can't get hold of it, can't get hold of anything. And certainly can't get hold of the dream of me because there is no me. Trying to catch will-o'-the-wisp. What is it chasing? It's just chasing, it's a dream of chasing. What is it chasing? Oh, okay. Yeah. It's just the idea, the concept of chasing. It says it's all perfect, nothing to be different. But the me thinks it needs to be different. Yes, it lives in the dream that there is something that I'm not getting. And it's not getting anything. Donnie, thank you. It just seems so real. The me feels absolutely real. The condition, the construct of me, which is all thought and feeling, and it's all kind of psychological brain dream, feels really real. That's the dream it lives in. It lives in an apparent separate reality. Its own apparent separate reality. Of course it feels real. Because that's the base setting of the sense of me, is that it feels real. Joe, the breath? I don't understand your question. Sorry, Joe. I was making an analogy on the Wednesday night chat group, which I forgot to mention. I have a Wednesday night drop-in chat group, and you can find that on my website, actually. It's private, it's not recorded. And we were talking about, I was talking about an analogy of how the sense of self, an analogy to the sense of self. And please don't take this literally, it's an analogy. It's a little bit like when a person has really chronic paranoia. And I was talking about a friend of mine from way, way back, like 20 odd years ago. And he had really severe paranoia. And his story that he really believed was that he was being chased by people in black cars, like the Men in Black kind of thing. And bless him, for him, it was so real. There's nothing that anyone could do to talk him out of it and say, well, that's just a black car outside. It's not following you. But he was so convinced of the story that it sounded believable. It sounded so believable. Anybody who was slightly gullible could have believed him because he was so convinced by it. And there was nothing that anyone could say to talk him out of it. To him, that was his reality, that he was being chased by the Men in Black. And the sense of self, as an analogy, is a bit like that. It's so convinced of its reality that it just can't be talked out of. No matter what is said, it can't be talked out of because that's the reality it lives in. It lives in an enclosed reality. There's no cracks in that door, as it were. But the illusion of it can be revealed, can be exposed, and it can weaken that sense of me. It can weaken it. But it will still feel like a me, but there'll be like this flip-flopping going on between it being a reality and suddenly exposed as not a reality. It says, do you ever fall back to that contracted sense of self? No, there was a day where it just seemed to go and it never returned, and that was quite a while ago now. Like, I don't know, over 2 years ago? I don't know. It was a while back now. No, it's just clearly that it was never real. It was never real. It was like, just not real. What can I say? Joe, how should one breathe? Well, breath is happening, Joe. The body breathes on its own. You don't need to know how to breathe. Breathing happens anyway. It's like saying, when I'm asleep, how should I breathe? Breathing's going to happen when you're asleep. No one's doing it, are they? The body's just breathing. You don't need to know how to breathe, Joe. You're already breathing. I love Ruby. I get fused because even these me-less experiences disappear in deep dreamless sleep. So if they come and go, how can they be it? So if they come and go, how can they be it? How can they come and go? Be it? Well, they're an appearance that just happens. The sense of self is an appearance that happens. It's usually dormant. And in dreamless sleep, there's just dreamless sleep. Thank goodness for dreamless sleep, eh? The little respite. A respite from being somebody. It just comes, everything comes and goes. Sense of me appears, water appears, plant appears, and then there's no sense of self, and it's just whatever's happening. Then there's dreamless sleep. Everything's coming and going, and it's the same with the sense of self. It just comes and goes. It's either stronger or less, or sometimes it's there the whole time for some people as a constant anxiety. There's no yeah. Well, it just comes and goes. I mean, that's just the way it is. But it's often dormant in the day, you know, when you're driving along and you just forget you're driving, you're just driving, and the sense of self is not there telling a story. It's just gone quiet. Just the story's gone quiet for a bit. CDD, have you heard Lee Collins? He has short videos. You and he are the only two speakers that really resonate with me. Thank you. No, I haven't, but I'll check him out. I very rarely listen to anybody, but I'll check him out of sheer curiosity. Rapscallion. Can we say that the me knows that everything is nothing? Because he tries to grasp experience, but it remains with nothing. Can we say that the me knows that everything is nothing? Well, the me doesn't know anything, but there might be a knowing, like an intellectual knowing, like an intellectual understanding. There can be an intellectual understanding of this, but it's not me that knows it. It's just knowing. Me claiming it knows, but it's not me. There is no me. There's no knowing happening, and there's me going, I know, all happening at the same time, but none of them are a person. Because he tries to grasp experience but remains with nothing. Yeah, well, nobody owns aliveness. Nobody owns anything. There's nobody that owns it. There's just the appearance or a story of me trying to grasp at something, because that's what it does. That's what it does. It's trying to find home. It's trying to feel whole. And it will grasp at anything to feel whole. Non-duality, drugs, car, TV, relationships, anything, anything. That's its base setting, is to grasp at something, to try and gain something, to feel whole again. But it doesn't realize that it's not real. It's just an appearance. It's not a person. It's a condition. You could say it's a condition. Joe, what is happening can't be escaped. Well, there's no one to escape it anyway. What is happening is the whole of aliveness. It's all there is. We can't find anything else. This is it. It's not appearing in time and space. Just the brain fills in the gaps that it is. Appears. The gaps, this time and space gaps are filled in. Like watching a movie, you watch a movie and it skips from one thing to the next, and the brain fills in the gaps. It's the same with this. Fills in the gaps of time and space. But they're not really there, they're just ideas. They're just what happens. They're just what happens. It's amazing that this life can appear as time. Well, I'm jealous. All I want is the sense of separation to fall. Yeah, I know that feeling. Yeah. And unbeknown to that wanting of the sense of separation to fall, it is the aliveness appearing as that. It is that. Whatever is happening is all there is. What a miracle. Paul, any news on the new book? Yeah, we are nearly done. I think we're going to finish editing tomorrow. My editor really wants me to get it formatted and the cover done and everything before next week. I'm going to try really hard. I'm going to try really hard before I have my month's break. I'm going away for a month. I'm going to be off grid mostly. Yeah, I'd like to get it on Amazon before I go away, actually. Yeah, I'll try my best. I'll try not to be lazy. My editor has to really be on it with me. I'll be like, yeah, when I come back, you know, I could easily be like that, but I'm gonna give it a good stab. Oh, you're welcome. I love Ruby. Hi, Joanne. When the sense of self began to collapse, did you have any aches and pains? Yes. Yes, I did. My shoulder froze. This one. I could only get my arm to here. My shoulder froze. I was very tired. I had to stay in bed a lot. I cried a lot. I was really lazy. I couldn't do my job properly. Yeah. It was quite wearing on the body actually. But when it was completely over, all that just fell away. It took a while for the poor shoulder to come back to life, but yeah, all that just went. Yeah. Nothing left. Nothing's left. All that life of being somebody just went. Crazy. And the longing and the wanting, the desperation is all it. Life happening. Only just realize that. What a relief. Yeah. Anything, all that, whatever's happening is all that's happening. And we don't know what it is. It's just we don't know what it's made of. We can't say what it's made of. You know, even if you look right down into the cellular level or the thought waves or the whatever, there isn't anything in it. There's nothing in it. Even when you look down at the tiniest molecule or whatever, I don't know what the smallest thing is it a quasar? Then that will just be what's happening. And there's nothing in a quasar, not a quasar, quark. The opposite scale, quasar, quark. When you look at a quark, if it's like that big, it's the size of the universe, isn't it? It says, the me is so clever. Oh my God, it is, because it lives in its like sealed up reality. It can't get out of it. It even tries to non-dual its way out of it, which is the most hilarious thing. It's so clever, yeah, it's clever, but it's also not very intelligent. Oh. It's just what is, actually. It's just what is. The appearance of me is what is. The appearance of me is not a me. The appearance of me is the plant and the space and the air and the light. Me, the body. It's all the one thing. That's the reason none of this can be seen by me, because it's all the one thing. CDD, I just have to accept, really accept, that this is all there is. Whatever idea I had of what a great life I would have, and how happy I would be, was just an idea. Well, actually, you don't really need to accept that this is all there is. You can actually just see that, even if it's intellectually, you can just see that all there is what is. There isn't anything else. Yeah, and any ideas of anything that isn't this is just an idea, yeah, a dream. This is so perfect and complete. It's just that we dream, the me dreams of this perfect life. It's going to be happy in the future. My dream home, or my dream partner, or my dream enlightenment has this dream that there's something that isn't here. It doesn't see that here is absolutely astonishing, even when it appears really, to the me, like really dull. You know? Like cleaning the bathroom. You know, how boring is that? Cleaning the bathroom. There's got to be something better than that. This dream happiness that I'm looking for. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Donnie, I wish I could get over the feeling that I am not good enough, always letting people down. Yeah, that's the dream. I am not good enough, but where am I? Where am I? Where is not good enough? Where is it? It's not there. It's literally a story that's being told. I, which is the number one story, am not good enough. The favourite story of the me, not good enough, not enough, not enough. That's why it's always going towards the dream of happiness, because this is not enough. I'm not enough. I am not enough. And I understand that, because it's a horrible feeling. But none of it's real, Donnie. Sorry, I shattered your dream, CDD. Back to cleaning bathrooms and washing the dishes. Stephen, accepting is another attempt at doing. Can't stop doing. Damn doing. Yeah. Yeah, the sense of this story, this just dream, is like wants to accept, and then I'm going to give up accepting. I'll give up hoping that maybe something will happen. I'll stop doing something because then I hope that something will happen. But all there is what's happening. It's looking for something that isn't happening. And what is happening is all there is. And it's just alive, absolutely alive. Not in the way of like a heart beating and breathing and stuff, but just aliveness that can't be described. It's neither, it's just not anything. But it's everything. Can't describe it. Because I can't know it. Can't know it. The sense of this, the seeking, the seeker is utterly doomed. I am. The seeker is doomed. The seeker is doomed because the seeker will never find what it's dreaming of or what it dreams of, because it's a dream. So it's completely doomed. Whatever it does, it's doomed, because it's always looking in an illusory next moment, in a dreamt up next moment. So it's hopeless, hopeless. What it's looking for is this, but doesn't know it and can't know it. CDD, next time someone asks me, hey, what's happening? I'm going to say, this. Yeah. Years ago, I used to go to Australia because I had a teacher back then, and my little girl would go and stay with my mother, my dad, and I used to call her. Back then, you could only do like international calls from a phone box, and I used to call her, and I'd say, "Hey, Stella, what are you up to?" And she'd say, "I'm talking to you." Because you're so immediate, aren't they, kids? So immediate. Basically saying, what's happening? She's saying, this is happening. Because they just don't have that sense of time hasn't become a reality for them. Yeah. Their dream and idea of time hasn't become fixed as a concept. Amazing, isn't it? Amazing that time can become what appears to be a reality. The next moment is really believed in, that something's going to happen to me. I'm going to get something or not get something. It's amazing. You could say like this is like the stream of no time. The stream of no time. Just beautiful. And not beautiful as in like what we think of as humans as beautiful, like a beautiful flower, a beautiful sunset, or even my dirty tissue. It's just, it's beyond the concept of what we think is beautiful as humans. It's astounding that there is anything here at all. Unfathomable. Okay, I'm nearly done. Nearly finished. What time? It's nearly 9:30. So, has anyone got any last things before I go? If not, I will be here next week at the same time. But it'll be my last time for the whole of March, in case you missed that before. I'm not going to be here at all in March. I'm having a holiday. And but I do have a webinar next Saturday. If you want to do that, there are like, I think 3 places left. If you want to do that, you can just find it on my website. And yeah, and there's my Wednesday drop-in chat group if you want to do that as well. Bonnie. Yeah, there is an understanding of what you're saying, just feels like I'm stuck somehow. That's the feeling of the sense of self. It feels stuck. It feels separate. It's a construct of stuckness, but it's not actually stuck at all. It's an apparent reality, but it's not really a reality. It's a dream of being stuck, Donnie. Thank you, Orna. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, CDD. We'll miss you after next week. I can listen to previous videos. Yeah. I really felt like I just needed to go and have a crazy adventure without doing anything. Thanks, guys. Same time on Wednesday chat. Yes, but you have to, that's a Patreon thing. And I'm afraid you have to subscribe to that. But it's really cheap. But that won't be happening either when I'm away. But there is one on Wednesday at 8:30. And I'll be doing that this Wednesday and the Wednesday after, and then not at all in March. Thanks, Lisa. Hope you get lots of coffees tonight. Thank you. So do I. Thank you, Anne. Thank you, lovely. Thank you, Donnie. Thank you all. If I have said goodbye, thank you. I will see you all either on Wednesday or this time next week. Okay, bye.